We are couple on the cut, Cindy, Michael and her furry crew member Toffee.
So we start our journey in Tamworth, and this is where it is in the UK. So we continue our journey on the Coventry Canal through Fazeley Junction and through the two Glasscote locks. And because of time restrictions on the Atherstone flight, we decided to moor up just short of the bottom lock 11 and tackle that the next day. Then on through the locks, which caused us some problems, which you'll see in the video. And then as we got through the locks, because of the problems that we'd had and time had passed, that we moored up just after top lock 1 of the Atherstone flight.
Tamworth, a town with a rich history, served as the capital of the Kingdom of Mercia. Mercia was one of the great 7 Anglo-Saxon kingdoms of England and was a state in the English Midlands from the 6th century to the 10th century.
The challenge I encountered with removing the fixed wardrobes and the fixed bed from the cabin area was, what do I do with the wood? I had nowhere to put it and I couldn't just chuck it on the towpath, so I had to try and work around it and also sleep around it as we were doing the work. I also had to relocate the accumulator tank, which I ended up replacing anyway, and the water pump, which had to go in a different location, so when the bed arrived I could place that in the centre of the cabin. This proved quite a challenge, but we had to get on with it because the bed was being delivered the next day. We'll show more of this project in future videos as the work progresses.
Isn't this a beautiful place? It is where an aqueduct crosses over the River Tame. Jenny, another subscriber, said that she likes to see everyday life on a narrowboat. Unfortunately, doing the hoovering is not going to be one of them. We have a hoover robot that we have nicknamed Dustbin Hoffman, living under our steps. We're both retired, having worked hard in our jobs. Neither of us particularly likes hoovering. We can put this on while we are cruising the cut, and our solar panels and cruising energy run it daily alongside our other electrical goods. We know it sounds a bit extravagant, but to us it's one of our little treats that we think we've earned. At Glasscote Bottom Lock, we saw this plaque titled The Tale of Leaky Lock. It may be difficult to see, so I've made a transcript of it. If you'd like to read it, press pause. I've heard of bringing the outdoors indoors, but this is going a bit too far. But I have to say there's something I like about it. Usually we are sad when we see an abandoned rusty boat, but in this case nature has decided to use it as a home. If we don't intervene, nature will always find its way in the end.
I filmed this sunset whilst walking for about a mile to see if there was anywhere near the CRT services to moor up before we tackled the lock flight. And then I went back and got the boat to move it to the new mooring. Toffee had woken up at this point and decided to use her morning walk, following me on the towpath.
We have now reached the bottom of the Atherstone lock flight and Em is mooring up. What a lovely view.
Good morning everyone, hope you're well. It's 6 a.m. on Wednesday the 29th of July and we're at the bottom of the Atherstone locks on the Coventry Canal where we've been moored up. We got here yesterday but we didn't want to tackle the locks in one day. There were 11 locks and there's some issues from lock 6 to top lock 1 where there's low water levels and I think the CRT have been letting water down, and I'm just walking up to the lock because we're just moored short of it, see if there's any notice. But I think the restriction is you can travel through lock 6 to lock 1 between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. so just want to see what the sign says, because we might have to time leaving here to be able to get through the locks in the window that they've allowed with the restriction. So we'll just have a look now. And I think lock 9 in the Atherstone lock is being repaired because it's leaky, and I'm guessing that's why there's low water levels. And what's it say here? From Tuesday 8th of July we'll be reducing opening times for Atherstone locks 1 to 6 from 8 a.m. to close at 4 p.m. Last boat through will be at 3 p.m. Okay, that hasn't been updated because yesterday a CRT notice came through by email stating 10 till 2 is the window to come through. So I'm assuming that we could come through these locks any time as long as we don't go through lock 6 to 1 before 10 o'clock. So it's 6 a.m. now, and we'll see how we get on. Probably leave about 7:30, I guess. Speak to you then.
Yeah, thank you.
There's no about a foot of water in it, in one of the sections, so...
Yeah.
This is what the man tried to warn us about. This is at lock 9. We were previously warned about locks 1 to 6 and that 9 was a leaky lock, but no one mentioned that the pounds at lock 9 were completely empty. Us and another narrowboat crew eventually got water down, but because of all the rushing around did not take any photos or videos. Thank you to fellow narrowboater Ian Hawkins for giving us permission to use his photos. Having a rest and a cup of coffee while waiting for lock 6 to open. Finally reaching Atherstone top lock. We have moored opposite this building. This is Britannia Works Mill, a Grade 2 listed building on the edge of Coventry Canal. It was the last hat making factory in Atherstone. It closed in 1999 due to various factors, including the abolition of slavery in the British Empire in 1833, which reduced the market for cheap hats supplied to plantation owners, the decline in military demand after World War II, and the shift in fashion trends and cheaper imports. The mill is now derelict and part of it was destroyed in Storm Dara in December 2024. There is now a petition to demolish it due to safety concerns. Decided to get my hair cut. Atherstone has had its own local tradition of holding an annual Shrove Tuesday ball game in the streets, originating from a match between Leicestershire and Warwickshire, which has been played annually for over 800 years since 1199. It's a unique, chaotic and physical event that involves hundreds of people vying for possession of a large, specially made ball, kicking and carrying it through the town's main street for 2 hours. The person holding the ball at the end of the 2 hours is declared the winner.
And he spots the butchers.
And I found the cake and pastry shop. One of our subscribers asked us about laundry. This is where our washing machine is. It's an Aquamatic washing machine, 3.5 kilograms. It came with the boat and it works well, so why change it? And this is where our laundry gets hung up. On our stern we have 2 black stone seats. I always thought these seats looked familiar, and then I realised they are seats that I've seen on old tractors, probably on TV. When I'm doing the laundry, we remove the top of the seat so that all that's left is the pole underneath. And then we slot the rotary dryer in. And this is what it looks like when it's up. Of course, when the weather is bad, we cannot dry our clothes outside, but we have a clothes horse that fits perfectly into our shower cubicle. Thank you to the Sloop Orion for asking the question about laundry. Before we tuck in and enjoy our Sunday dinner, we just want to say thank you for being on this journey with us. Hope you'll join us again. Take care. Bye for now.